Welcome to Flowret's Storytime.
The Girl and the Kitten. In a super tall building in a zoomy, beepy city lived a girl named Elara. From her window, she saw flying cars whiz by like busy bees. Whee! They went, but Elara just sighed. It would be more fun with a friend, she told her favorite teddy bear. One sunny day, Elara went to the big, green park. Whoosh went the squirrels, chasing each other's fluffy tails up the trees. Tweet, tweet sang the birds, sharing songs with their friends. Elara watched them and her shoulders drooped. Just when she was feeling her saddest, Elara heard a little sound. Mew, mew. It was coming from a big, leafy bush. Elara tiptoed closer and peeked under a leaf. A pair of big, scared eyes looked back at her. It was a tiny, fluffy kitten. "Hello there," Elara said softly. She held out her finger very, very slowly. The kitten wiggled its nose. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Then it gave a tiny mew and rubbed its fluffy cheek against her hand. Elara giggled. She named her new friend Pip. Back home, Elara's room wasn't quiet anymore. It was full of pitter-patter paws and happy purrs. Pip's favorite game was chasing a bouncy red string. Pounce, tumble, flip. The next day, Elara took Pip to the park in a cozy basket. Suddenly, a happy woof made them look up. A boy with a big smile was walking a puppy that was wiggling from nose to tail. "Hi," said the boy. "Your kitten is super cute." "This is Pip," said Elara. "I'm Leo, and this is Sparky," said the boy. "He loves to play." Sparky wagged his tail so fast he looked like a wiggling, waggling whirlwind. Yip, yip. It was playtime. Leo threw a bouncy ball for Sparky. Fetch. Boing. Sparky zoomed after it. Elara tickled Pip's nose with a blade of grass. Swat, swat. Pip's little paws tried to catch it from inside her cozy basket. After that, Elara and Leo were park pals, and Pip and Sparky were the best pet pals. They loved to chase dizzy butterflies and tumble-rumble in the green grass. What a team! Now, Elara loved looking out her window at the zoomy, beepy city. She wasn't lonely anymore. She had a best friend, Leo, and the fluffiest, purriest kitten in the world, Pip. And tomorrow would be a new day to play. The Girl and the Kitten, The Great City Adventure. Elara, Leo, Pip, and Sparky were back at the park. "Let's play hide and seek," said Leo. But Pip wasn't listening. A butterfly with wings like tiny rainbows was fluttering just above his nose. "Ooh," purred Pip, his eyes wide with wonder. The butterfly danced away, and Pip, with a tiny pounce, chased after it. He wiggled right under the park gate and into the big, noisy city. "Ready or not, here I come," shouted Elara, covering her eyes to count. "I found you," Elara giggled, finding Leo. "Now, where's Pip?" They looked in the basket. They looked under the bench. They looked behind the big slide. But Pip was gone. "Pip?" called Elara, her voice a little wobbly. Sparky the puppy put his nose to the ground. Sniff, sniff, snuffle. His tail gave a little wag. He had found a trail of tiny paw prints leading out of the park. "Good boy, Sparky," said Leo. "Let's go." The trail led them onto a busy sidewalk where the flying cars went whiz, and the robot street sweepers went bleep, bloop. "Oh my," whispered Elara, holding Leo's hand. "It's so big out here." Pip wasn't scared at first. He had followed the butterfly onto a floating food cart that smelled like yummy space noodles. But now the cart was zipping high above the ground. "Mew," he squeaked. The butterfly was gone, and he was all alone. Down below, Sparky's ears perked up. He heard a tiny, faraway mew. He looked up, up, up. "Woof, woof, arf," he barked, wagging his tail like crazy and pointing his nose to the sky. "What is it, Sparky?" asked Elara. Elara and Leo looked up and gasped. There was Pip, a tiny fluff ball on a zipping noodle bot. "We have to get him down," cried Leo. Elara looked around and saw a friendly park ranger robot watering some anti-gravity tulips. She had an idea. "Excuse me, Mr. Robot," said Elara politely. "Our kitten is stuck." The robot's light blinked. Statement: Kitten requires assistance. It stretched its long, bendy arm way up into the sky and gently scooped Pip off the Noodlebot. "Pip!" Elara hugged the little kitten tight. Pip purred the loudest purr in the world. Leo and Sparky danced a happy dance. "That was a big adventure," said Leo. "But I think the park is the best place for adventures," said Elara. And everyone agreed. The Girl and the Kitten, a Feathered Friend. Elara, Leo, Pip, and Sparky were building the best pillow fort ever, right in the middle of the park. "One more cushion," said Elara, balancing a big, fluffy one on top. "It's a castle," cheered Leo. Suddenly, a tiny sound floated through the air. Tweet, tweet. It was a very small, very sad sound. Pip's pointy ears twitched. Sparky's head tilted. "What was that?" whispered Leo. Sparky followed his nose, and Pip followed Sparky. Hiding under a big, leafy fern, they found a little baby bird. It was fluffy and brown, and a big tear was rolling down its tiny beak. "Oh, you poor thing," said Elara, kneeling down. The baby bird chirped sadly and pointed a little wing up, 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 to the top of a very tall, twisty tree. There was a nest, but it was so far away. "My family is up there," it peeped, "and I can't fly yet." "Don't worry, little bird," said Leo bravely. "We'll get you home." He tried to climb the tree, but the trunk was too slippery and smooth. He just slid right back down with a thump. "My turn," meowed Pip. Being a kitten, he was a natural climber. He scampered up the trunk, his little claws going scritch-scratch. But halfway up, he looked down, and his legs felt all wobbly. It was too high even for him. Elara looked at the wobbly Pip and the sad little bird. Then she saw it. A friendly gardener bot was trimming a swirly-shaped bush nearby with long, scissor-like hands. Elara's face lit up with an idea. "Excuse me, Mr. Gardener Bot," said Elara. "Our new friend fell out of his nest, and he can't get back up." Leo pointed to the top of the tree. The robot stopped trimming, and its eyes blinked a friendly green. Statement: A creature requires elevation assistance, the robot buzzed. Its arm extended like a super-long telescope. It carefully scooped up the baby bird in its soft, padded hand and lifted it into the air. The robot placed the baby bird safely back in its nest. 3 other little birds and a mama bird popped their heads up and chirped a big, "Thank you." Down on the ground, everyone cheered. Helping a friend was the best adventure of all. The Girl and the Kitten, the Gardener Bot's secret. "Thank you so much for helping, Mr. Gardener Bot," said Elara. Leo patted the robot's shiny leg. "You're the best robot ever." The Gardener Bot's lights blinked. Acknowledgement. Gratitude received. Query: Would you like to see something special? The Gardener Bot, whose name was Gardy, turned and rolled away on his single wheel. "Follow me," he buzzed. Pip and Sparky bounced with excitement. A secret adventure. They hurried to keep up with Gardy's whirring wheel. Gardy led them past the swirly bushes and behind the big slide to a tall stone wall covered in thick, green ivy. "It's just a wall," said Leo, looking puzzled. Elara looked closer. "I don't think so," she whispered. Gardy extended one of his scissor hands and carefully trimmed the ivy. Swish, snip, the leaves parted like a curtain, revealing a small, round, wooden door with a shiny brass handle. "Wow!" gasped Leo. Elara turned the handle. Creak. The door swung open. Inside was a garden, unlike any they had ever seen. The flowers glowed with soft light, and the trees had sparkly, silver leaves. They all stepped inside. The air smelled sweet, like honey and strawberries. Pip chased a butterfly with wings that shimmered like a rainbow. Sparky sniffed a flower that giggled and wiggled when his nose touched it. Elara found a bush with big, round pods. She gently poked one. Pop! A perfect, shimmering bubble floated out, carrying the scent of fresh cookies. "It's a bubble bush," she laughed. Leo saw a row of flowers that looked like colorful trumpets. When a little breeze blew past, they played a happy little tune, toot-tootly-doo. Leo started dancing to the music. Statement: "This is my garden," buzzed Gardy. "I grow special plants here. The happy kind." Elara gave the robot a big hug. "It's the most beautiful garden in the whole world, Gardy." It was time to go. "We'll keep your secret," promised Leo. Gardy's light blinked a happy blue. They knew they would be back to visit the secret garden and their new friend Gardy very soon. The Girl and the Kitten, the garden's gloom. The very next day, Elara and Leo hurried back to the ivy-covered wall. "I hope the trumpet flowers have learned a new song," said Elara. Leo nodded eagerly. "And I hope the bubble bush has more cookie bubbles." Gardy the gardener bot was waiting for them, his single wheel humming softly. Gardy parted the ivy and opened the small, round door. But as they stepped inside, a hush fell over them. The garden was quiet. The silver leaves on the trees had stopped sparkling, and the glowing flowers were dim. "Oh no," whispered Elara. "The magic is sleepy." Statement: "The central giggle bloom is sad," buzzed Gardy. He rolled towards a big, beautiful flower in the middle of the garden. Its colorful petals were drooping, and its light was gone. Its gloom is contagious. It is making the whole garden feel unwell. "I'll cheer it up," declared Leo. He leaned towards the flower and told it his funniest joke about a silly squirrel. Sparky the puppy barked, as if he thought it was funny, but the giggle bloom's petals didn't even twitch. Then Elara tried singing a sweet lullaby. Pip the kitten curled up at the base of the flower and began to purr, adding his own rumbling song. The garden stayed quiet and dim. Gardy extended a special scanner and aimed it at the flower. A little blue light blinked as it scanned. "Analysis complete," Gardy buzzed. "The giggle bloom is not sick. Diagnosis: it is experiencing loneliness." "Lonely?" Elara said, surprised. She looked around the quiet garden. Her eyes stopped on a tiny, shy-looking flower with bright yellow petals, hiding all by itself behind a big green leaf. "I think I see another lonely plant," she said softly. "Gardy, can you help?" asked Elara. With his gentle spade hand, Gardy carefully lifted the little yellow flower, soil and all, and moved it right next to the big, sad giggle bloom. The little yellow flower's petals brushed against the giggle blooms. A soft glow started to pulse from the big flower's center. Then it let out a happy little giggle. The whole garden lit up. The trumpet flowers played a cheerful tune, and the silver leaves began to sparkle once more. "It just needed a friend," cheered Leo. Elara gave Gardy a happy hug. "This is the kindest garden in the world." Gardy's light blinked a happy green. "Correction," he buzzed. "With your help, we have the kindest garden." The Girl and the Kitten, the Grumpy Gnome. Elara and Leo raced to the secret garden, their mouths watering for cookie-flavored bubbles. But when they popped the first one, their faces scrunched up. "Yuck," cried Elara. "This tastes like a grumpy morning." Gardy the gardener bot whirred over. Analysis: the bubble bush is absorbing grumpiness from a nearby source. He pointed a metallic finger towards a grumpy-looking, moss-covered stone they had never noticed before. Leo, ever brave, tiptoed to the stone and knocked. "Hello? Is anyone in there?" The stone rumbled, and a grumpy voice grumbled, "Go away! I'm busy being miserable." A tiny door creaked open, and a gnome with a long white beard and a very grumpy face peeked out. "My name is Griselda," the gnome huffed, "and I've lost my laughing stone. It's the only thing that makes me happy. Now everything, including your silly bubbles, tastes like my grumpiness." "We'll help you find it," Elara declared. Griselda grumbled, "You'll have to get past the tickle vines first. They'll try to make you laugh so much you forget what you're looking for." Elara and Leo held their breath and tried to think of sad things. They managed to wiggle through the tickle vines without a single giggle. Next, they came to a beautiful but very grumpy-looking red rose. "To pass me, you must answer my riddle," the rose said in a thorny voice. "I have no voice, but I can tell you stories. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment. "A book," she exclaimed. The rose smiled, and its petals opened to let them pass. Beyond the rose, nestled in a patch of soft, glowing moss, was a smooth, round stone that seemed to be chuckling to itself. It was the laughing stone. They hurried back to Griselda. When he saw the laughing stone, his grumpy face broke into a huge smile. He held the stone, and a wave of cheerful energy washed over the garden. The bubble bush instantly started producing shimmering, cookie-flavored bubbles again. "Thank you," Griselda chirped, his voice now light and happy. He, Elara, and Leo all shared a cookie bubble, laughing together. "Even grumpy people just need a little help to find their happiness," Elara said, and Gardy blinked his green light in agreement.
See you soon at Flowered Storytime!